Hi everybody, here's an updated video. It's November 2019 on doing this stamp project and how to make it easy for yourself. So Tim from my Graphic Design 1 Mod 2 class put up his project using JFK, and I wanted to address some of the issues that made it weak and try to get you to do the project correctly. So I went out to Google Images and gathered up 4 pictures here. So I've explained how to do that in another video if you're still wondering. But basically, Google Images, use the size large under Tools, and then try to get images that are at least 1,000 pixels. Let's see. And I also went over to the followed the link on your syllabus over to the scallop page here. I'm going to go with vertical. It's important to pick one format, vertical or horizontal, not both. And these are thumbnails. They're way too small to use, so you click on that and then right-click, copy image, and then come back to Photoshop and File New or Control-N, create, Control-V. Okay, so we're going to put all these pictures in this space. Another way, there's lots of ways to do every job in Photoshop. Another way we could do this is to crop the image and size it to fit exactly in this space right here. So let's try it that method. I'm going to click and hold the rectangular marquee tool, and I'm just going to click and drag in this space here. And the reason I'm doing that is to find out exactly how big we want to crop to. That looks about right. So if I hit Control-C or Edit Copy and Control-N or File New, it'll tell me exactly to the pixel. In this case, it's 1073 wide and 1400 tall. Okay, pixels right here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to crop each of the JFK pictures. Whoops, I don't want to crop this one. Control-Z. Oh, actually, this is the new copy. That's fine. I'll leave it out there as a reference. Control-D this. Now, notice this is a horizontal picture. So let's crop it to vertical. Take the crop tool, and in the upper left in the options for your crop tool, choose choose W times H times resolution, width times height. And we said that the width was 1073. So put that in here. And the height, 1400. Just like that. And then hit the check mark. And I want to check Control-0, sorry, to zoom out a little. Check the size here under image size, and it's 1073 by 1400. That's fine. Okay, so just going to rinse and repeat on the 4 JFK pictures. Notice I can click in here and move this if I want to create a little more space in front of his face. Okay. Click here, click once on the picture, then click and drag if I want a little more space here. And it resizes and crops to the perfect size all in one shot. So click and then check mark. Great. So let's start with this one. It's a classic presidential portrait. I'm going to just check the size one more time. Image size, 1073, 1400. Perfect. So I'm going to hit Control-A to select all, Control-C, then come back to the scallop layer, and let me get out of the crop tool by hitting Escape, and then Control-V Oop. Control Z. Got to check this one more time. Image size. Yep, it seems to be correct. Now notice that the resolution is 72 here. What I could do is adjust that as well, because right now, oops, this is saying inches. It should say pixels. All right, and we should have 72 on this. So I'm readjusting these numbers. 1073, 1400 at 72 dots per inch. Okay, so say OK to that. Control A, Control C, come over here, Control V, and it pastes it in perfectly. No skewing, no uneven borders, everything's set up perfectly. So if you don't see your rulers, Control R brings them out, and then click and drag, very important point, set up your margin lines. We want 4 of them, and we want the distance to the edge of the image to be exactly the same on all 4 sides here. And you can tell if it's close by looking in the corner, and if it looks to be square, then you're in good shape. Oop. Okay, close enough. I'm going to put white type on this dark image, and I'm going to use Arial black. Arial is Microsoft's version of Helvetica, and Helvetica is the classic Swiss font that is the epitome of modernism. So in terms of size, let me start with 72 and go from there. I'm going to type his full name, all caps, and I want Arial and bold. Put on the caps lock. Check mark. Immediately I'm going to put it vertically along the left side here. So I'm going to hit Control T and then right click, rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise, and then check mark the move tool and move it into place. It's looking pretty good. That's at 72 points. Now I'm going to notice that I put the Y up into the corner, touching this margin line, and the top edge of the letters touches that margin line. Now over here, let's put a 55. And I need it quite a bit bigger than that, so let me go to 130 and see what that looks like. Too small. And I also don't want bold, and I also want to tighten up the distance between those letters. 200 is better. Go to regular, and this icon right here next to the circle slash here shows me that right now I'm stretching the letters by 100 value. I'm going to go to a -50 to tighten up the distance between each 5, and then snug it into the corner here. Then pull a new margin line out, and we're going to put USA right under the 55 within these margin lines. Again, so I click out here to get away from all the type. Drop this back to, let's try 72, and check mark. Bring this up, and let's stretch it now. So click on the type tool, highlight the type, And let's try it back at 100 and 200. And instead of 72, let's go to 80 and see how that's starting to shape up. I'm going to zoom in. You can click on the zoom tool and then click and drag here and hold the space bar to get to the move tool and go back to your move tool. To get to the hand tool. So notice that the edge of the A is pretty close, and the edge of the U, if I want to really tweak it up a little more, I could go 210. Oops, not 10, 210. 220. And the move tool, and I can nudge it with my arrow key also. Okay. Control 0 to zoom back out. So here's our template. We have our picture layer, and above it 3 type layers, one for the price, the country, and the person. Okay. Now we're just a couple of minutes away from finishing this. Going to go to the next picture and check the image size again, and it should be okay to paste this way even though the resolution says what, because what's important is that this say pixels here. So let's try it. So select all, or Control A, Control C, come back to the scallop and click on layer 2, the picture layer, and paste right over that. Control V. Perfect. It dropped it perfectly in the right spot using the same template. Now, because we've got white type, we want legibility, and I'm going to take the burn tool here. It's this little hand right in the middle. Click that, click the hand burn tool, and I'm going to put my hardness at 0 and the size. Let me take off my caps lock so I can see the circle. Something like that is good. And I'm just going to click and drag around this area here to darken it, and click and drag over here. And it's darkening the picture underneath. See, I'm on layer 3. So now the type is a little bit more legible. Okay, moving right along, check the image size, making sure it's 1073 pixels, 1400, okay. Control A, Control C, Control, being on layer 3 again, Control V, bam. Again, we have a light area here, so I'm going to just darken with the burn tool. Just click, 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 and drag, 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 and it'll just start darkening magically here. And over here, the J and the O, we want to darken that area. Okay, let me close this. And the last one, check the image size. Good. Pixels. Control A, Control C. Make sure you're on layer 4, Control V. Use your burn tool and darken up the image under the type. Perfect. Last step in all this now is to take all these images separately and place them on a new, larger canvas. Okay, so let's make that new canvas, File, New, and I'm going to make it inches and 50 inches wide by 40 inches tall and 72 on the resolution and grayscale to save some space. Create. And now what what we do is go to the master file with all the layers and layer flatten image, and then select all, Control A, Control C, and come to your the new master and paste it, Control V. Actually, since these are verticals, I want this to be 50 by 40 this way. So canvas size, right here, and I'm going to change the width to 40 and the height to 50. And then put this here. Okay, back to the master. Now we have to undo, step backwards twice to get back to our layers. Turn off the layer that you just did and come over to Layer, Menu Item, Flatten Image again. Yes, Control A, Control C, Control V, and place it in here. Okay, rinse and repeat, come back here, step backwards twice, Alt Control Z is a shortcut, turn the eyeball off on that layer, come over here, Layer, Flatten Image, right here, Control A, Control C, Control V, and one more. Come on over here, Alt Control Z twice, undoes 2 steps, turn that layer off, layer flatten, okay, Control A, Control C, Control V. I think I'll put this down here and this one up here, and notice that I'm creating this nice grid, this block that relates. It's centered on the canvas. Everything is looking nice and perfect. So finally, layer, flatten image, save it as a JPEG, and post it to the blog. Super. And that's it. See you on the blog.